The cheeseburger is a culinary masterpiece, with the basic structure being composed of buns, preferably butter toasted, alongside a beef patty with a slice of cheese. However, there are multiple different options for toppings. The delicious cheeseburger is truly an iconic staple of American cuisine. On March 16, 1968, U.S. soldiers in the 1st Battalion, 20th Infantry Regiment, 11th Barrage of the 23rd American Infantry Division conducted what is one of the most iconic atrocities of the Vietnam War. Between 347 and 504 unarmed citizens, most of which were women and children, were brutally killed in the massacre. The massacre took place in the hamlets of My Lai and My Ki, both of which were part of the Sam Mi village during the Vietnam War. It is said that out of the 105 U.S. soldiers who participated in the massacre, only 26 of them were actually charged, and out of those 26, only one soldier by the name of William Calley was actually convicted. William was set to serve life in prison, however that got reduced to 10 years, but he was released after just 3 years under house arrest. The event was a global outrage, with U.S. support for the war plummeting. 3 American servicemen who were attempting to halt the massacre and protecting the wounded were heavily criticized by U.S. congressmen. These servicemen would later on receive hate mail, death threats, and even boxes full of mutilated animals on their doorstep. Fortunately, 30 years later, their service and efforts would be honored. Following the My Lai massacre, the Pentagon investigated alleged atrocities done by the U.S. troops against South Vietnamese civilians. The Pentagon created a 9,000-page secret archive documenting 320 different incidents from 1967 to 1971, including 7 different massacres not including the My Lai massacre, in which 137 civilians died, with soldiers committing 78 additional attacks targeting non-combatants. In this, 57 were killed, 56 were wounded, and at least 15 were sexually assaulted, and 141 incidents of U.S. soldiers torturing civilians or POWs. 203 U.S. personnel were charged with crimes, 57 were court-martialed, and 23 were convicted. American generals went public claiming that events like this were extremely common during the war, and were in fact encouraged. To this day, it is unknown how many atrocities were actually committed by the U.S. military during the Vietnam War.